Welcome to my video. Today I will present my method section of my research proposal entitled The Use of Mentimeter as a Medium of Discussion in EFL Classroom, Students and Teacher Perspectives. First of all, I want to show my research questions. The first one is to what extent do teachers use Mentimeter as discussion media in classroom? And the second one is, what are the students' and teachers' perspectives on the use of Mentimeter as discussion media? Okay, the first thing I want to present is my research design. So in here I use qualitative method, which is consists of observation and semi-structured interview. The reason why I choose qualitative method is I want to see the phenomenon that happen in the field, and also I want to gain deeper information from the participants. So that's why I use qualitative method. So observation in here is to observe the phenomenon that happen in the field. So this is through class observation that use Mentimeter, and also semi-structured interview. Why I use semi-structured interview is because by using semi-structured interview, I just like having conversation, but still get the information from the participants. So I still have the checklist of the interview, but not really following in order of the interview checklist itself. So the second is about the research participants. So I will research in a private university in Yogyakarta, which is two classes from English Education Department that utilize Mentimeter. There will be two lecturers and three students that will be my participants for interview. So the consideration by choosing the participants in here is the first one is their exposure with the Mentimeter and whether the class use Mentimeter in the classroom or not. So yeah, that's the consideration by choosing this category of the participants. And then the research instruments. So I have interview checklist, observation checklist, and informed consent form. So I will show you the the checklist. Okay, this is the interview checklist. So I have the interview checklist for lecturer and also for the students. So mostly actually they mostly are quite same question, but uh, from different perspective. So this interview would help me to answer the research question number 2. So about the perspective, mostly the research question number 2. So I will ask them about their perspective, how long they have been exposure to the Mentimeter, and so on. And here I have the observation checklist. In the observation checklist, I have 11 statements. In here, I have 1 to 5 scale, which is represent these categories: the never, sometimes, and always. So this observation checklist will help me to answer the research question number 1 about the how far the Mentimeter being utilized in the classroom. And also this observation is would help me to cross-check whether the answer from the participants is really exists on the in the field. So this like mostly from my perspective as a researcher. In here I have informed consent form. So in my informed consent form, I have my data, which is consists of name, email, and my institute, the title of the study, the purpose of the study, and also the consent form itself and the participant sign. So this informed consent form is for interview. Okay, let's continue. And then the ethical consideration. So what I consider in this research is the first one, to get the permission from the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper in here is the head of the department. So I should get the permission first from the head of department for observing the class and interview, and yeah, interview, getting the information about the lecturer that use Mentimeter in the classroom. And then the consent form, of course, for the lecturer and the students for interview. And then the negotiating schedule. Negotiating schedule in here is with me and the lecturer that will observe the class. So I will negotiating schedule when they will use Mentimeter, and so I could like matching my schedule, so I could observe the class when the lecturer used Mentimeter as one of the activity in the classroom. And then I will doing the interview in Indonesian language to get like detailed information, so the participants could explain more in Indonesian language. And also I will so I want to avoid misunderstanding from my interview from my interview. So I don't want to having like uh, very shallow answer from the participants, and also like misunderstanding from the participants from my question if I do that in English language. And then here my sequence of data collection and analysis. Okay, first of all, I will asking the permission from the ad hoc, the English education department, and also negotiating the schedule for the observation. After that, I will observe the related class and distribute the consent form, and then interview the lecturers and the students. And after I gain the interview result, I will transcribe them into English language and translate them into English language. After that, I will find a theme from the lecturer interview results and also the students interview results. After I gain the theme from these interview results, I will analyze the whether the between the teachers and students having the same perspective toward the use of Mentimeter or not. If there will be any differences between the perspective of the teacher and the students, I will find the reason why it could be different, and explain that why it can be different from the perspective of the students and from the teachers. Here are the possible challenges and possible solution that I could predict what will be happen if I do what will happen if in the future when I want to gain the data. So the possible challenges that I could predict is the first one, only got one class that using Mentimeter. So actually it quite possible that uh, in the next semester I just get one class that use Mentimeter, and also the Mentimeter not be used as discussion media. So it's also very possible if I get the class that use Mentimeter, but the lecturer not use Mentimeter as discussion media, but as just a game or as any activity uh, outside discussion media. So the solution that I have for overcome these possible challenges is the first one is interview a lecturer that has been using Mentimeter before in the previous semester. So I would have like opinion from lecturer that have been utilized Mentimeter in his or her class before, and also to overcome the challenges for the the challenges when the Mentimeter is not used as discussion media is you schedule or have more observation. So I will reschedule with the lecturers when the lecturer use Mentimeter, possible schedule when the uh, lecturer will use Mentimeter again. So I will observe more to see when which one is the lecturer use Mentimeter as discussion media. So I think that's all from my method that I could present today. Thank you.